Hi everyone, and welcome back to Heart and Soul Homes. Today I'm going to do a little something different. I think it's kind of fun to have some new recipes or something new to try, and so I wanted to go ahead and share with you one of my family's absolute favorite dinners. And I love to cook, and I love the feeling of when I can make something that my family loves, and it tastes good and it brings us all together, and we can sit down and laugh and just enjoy each other and enjoy just the time together, and doing that so with food. So today I am going to show you how I do my lemon chicken, and like I said, it is always my family's favorite. It is always what is requested. I put a group text out, with my kids, and I'm like, lemon chicken tonight, and they're all, yes, okay, be there, no problem. So I just wanted to share it with you guys, and it's not that hard of a recipe, but it does taste really good. So I'm gonna just go over what I've got and the ingredients, what I'm using. I use as thin chicken breasts as I can find, but if I can't find them, or I happen to get them like at Costco or something, I'll usually cut them in half. So as you can see, I've got pretty thin chicken breasts. It cooks easier, and I think, to me, one of the yummiest things of the dish is kind of the breading, but it's not a very heavy, it's a real light panko breading. So anyhow, I like to use as thin of chicken breast as I can. The other three, the breading consistency is egg. So I use about 3 eggs, a cup of panko Italian. You know what, I started off just using regular panko breadcrumbs, and that is fine. I mean, that works too. But I found that I really kind of liked, and everybody else did, the Italian styled panko breadcrumbs. So it's up to you, but either one works. But the panko breadcrumbs is kind of what gives it a lighter, crunchier kind of coating. So I use a cup of that, a cup of flour, and then 3 eggs. And something that I find is really important, and this is in cooking in general, when you've got different layers, like this is a breading, so I'm going to be dipping it in different, layers. Season every layer. You know what I'm saying? Like I prefer the lemon pepper, and I put, I'm not a big measure, but I would say a teaspoon in each of the layers. So in the panko, the egg, and the flour mixture. I also will, with salt, just go a little bit over on the raw chicken. Okay, so that's just a little cooking hack and tip, is layering. When you have different layers of flavor, don't just put everything together and then season each layer, each layer. So we've got, this is the breading, and then lemon juice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you how to bread it. So before, when I of course, now this is all nicely laid out and everything. So, but I use these are breading trays. You can use a plate, you can use bowls, you can use, you could put the breadcrumbs in Ziploc and shake it. I do that with like fried chicken, or a paper bag. But after, you can just pan fry, but I like to pan fry and then cook the rest of it in the oven. And I'll show you what I do is I have a cookie sheet with tin foil. So let me show you that real quick. So I take a cookie sheet and I put tin foil on there, because the tin foil kind of gives it a little bit of a crispier coat on it as well. So I also get my oven ready at 350, so it's preheating. So Once you get started, I find the easiest thing with lemon chicken is if I have everything ready, everything, you know, I've got, like I do, I've got the chicken's ready to go. I've got a plate here, so once I get everything coated, I get right over to the stove top and I have the oil going. Because the key to all of this is after the chicken is cooked in the oil, before it goes to the oven, the lemon part is the biggest thing. So if it's kind of you gotta be fast and if you're kind of like, oh, well, I forgot this or that, it can get a little, you know, a little complicated. So I find the easiest way is to have everything ready, bread the chicken first, so that's all done. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You got your plate of breaded chicken, you start just cooking it. You have your cookie sheet next to you. So when they're done, they come off, you've got your lemons and your salt, because you'll see the best way to get it seasoned is after it's cooked. So what I'm gonna do is I've got my chicken that I just put a little salt on. Okay, so now I've got all of my breading ready to go. So I'm going to dip my chicken into the egg, and then I'm gonna put it into the flour mixture. I'm gonna put it back into the egg, and then I'm gonna put it into the panko bread crumbs. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep doing that, and we'll probably speed it up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing, but you don't need to sit in here and listen to me do all of this.
All you want is my hunger. All you need is my pain. Nothing in between ever met you lost. When you were born there was thunder, fire lit in the sky as to lead astray. Now heavy rain pours out of you and me. Come back, rain. Come and ease this obsession. Full force dispossess. Come and quiet this aggression. If we met in a year or two, would you set your eyes on me? Wear your heart on your sleeve. Nothing in between. Well, come back, caress. Come and ease this obsession. Full force dispossess. Come and quiet this aggression. Some say love must hurt to count. Some say love must hurt to make a difference. Come and ease this obsession. Full force dispossess. Come and quiet this aggression. Come back, rain. Quiet this. Come and ease this obsession. Full force dispossess.
Okay, so now I'm ready to get my chicken into the oil. I use vegetable oil for this part. I'm sure you could use peanut oil, sunflower oil, whatever you like, but I do use vegetable oil for this recipe. So I've got it going. It's hot. I think we're ready to dump it in, and you will see how it goes. So I'm gonna tip it down a little bit so you can kind of see my process, and you can see I've got my lemons and my salt ready to go. So here we go. Here's our first set. Oh, you can hear that? All right. I have a really big pan that I use when I'm like cooking for a big, like a party or something, but I'm just gonna use my regular everyday ones for this. One thing I wanted to mention, I did add another cup of the panko breadcrumbs, and I did add one more egg. It just kind of depends. I give measurements, but it just kind of depends. If you're cooking for 4 people and you're just doing 4 chicken breasts, I think you probably could get away with a cup. I'm doing a little bit more just because everybody's going to be coming over this evening to have this. So you just kind of have to play with it. My only tip is that if you're going to add more egg, more flour, or more of the panko breadcrumbs, put a little bit more of your lemon pepper if you like lemon pepper. If you don't, you could use salt and pepper, or just use the salt at the end. You know what I mean? You don't have to. I'm just, and our family is ones that just kind of like a lot of flavors, so I always, you know, layer my seasoning and with the foods. So, but if you're going to add some of that to it, you want to make sure that you add some more seasoning to it, because, you know what I mean, then you're getting your layers. So you just take, because they're thin, you just take and fry it up just a couple minutes to where it is brown and kind of has this crispy. Let me take you and show you what that looks like. You see where it's got kind of that brown crusty? That's what you're looking for. And you just let it, you know, go in there for a couple minutes. Now you could cook this entirely on the stove. That's okay. I just think the juices, you know, kind of goes into the meat, makes it a kind of a juicier chicken breast when it bakes with the lemon juice on it. So I think I've got my first, let's see here. I'll flip it one more time. You want it to get a nice brown coat on it. But I think this is going to be probably real good now. Okay, so I'm getting it right on my pan. It's off of the oil. Okay, I'm doing it real quick here. Wait, whoops. Okay, so this one is done. So what I do real quick while it is on the thing, I hit it with salt and I squeeze the lemon in there, all up over it. I'll show this easier in just 1 second. Okay, so I gotta get this next set on. Okay, so here we go. We got our next set. Same thing into the oil. Okay. Now I've got let's see, I'm gonna use these ones. Okay, so this is gonna be for our getting those in, and this I just want to show you what I did. I doused it, and I'm gonna do it some more. I'm just squeezing all over, getting as much of that juice out as I can. Okay, then I'm gonna flip it. Okay, whoops. I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more salt. And then this is a very juicy, so I'm just gonna hit this side. Okay, and that's what I mean when you're doing, you gotta be doing it. This is what I mean with you gotta be quick, you know, because that is the most important, one of the most important keys is getting that right when it comes off of the oil, that, you know, sear it in, that salt and that lemon. So that is kind of my secret. So that's where I'm saying you gotta have all your ducks in a row and be ready, because obviously you gotta get more into the pan, but you gotta get that right away. So now you kind of see what I am saying. Oh Lord, we got the dogs barking. Okay, so this one is got a real nice crisp on it. Okay, so I am ready. And then another tip that I usually do is I cut up extra of the lemons, because like my son, my daughter-in-law, I think pretty much all the kids like to just squeeze a little extra lemon on there. So I always serve it with extra cut lemon so it's ready to go. Daisy, no thank you. Oh, this dog. We actually think she kind of has dementia. She kind of forgets, like after she's been fed, an hour after she eats, she thinks she needs to eat again. Kind of crazy. So here we go. We've got a pretty good, nice brown on there. Okay, so I'm gonna get that off. And remember, the chicken is not cooked all the way. It's not cooked all the way. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil. Okay, chicken is not cooked all the way. That's why we're putting it in the oven. So I'm gonna hit it with the salt. I'm gonna hit it with the lemon. Right out the gate here. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip that last one over. And I'm gonna do a little bit more salt while it's hot. And I'm gonna go with more lemon. There we go. Another tip is after all of the lemons, the juice has been squeezed out. Yeah. I don't do all of them, but I'll run probably about 4 down the disposal because the lemon cleans the disposal. So, you know, nothing gets wasted. So our last batch here, okay, it's browning up. Remember, you want to have already had your oven going to 350, and we're going to cook it for about, I always cut in just to double check, but it's usually about 30-35 minutes, especially if it's a thin cut. If it's a thicker cut of or a thicker chicken breast, then you might want to do 40 minutes, but you know, cut down the middle and just make sure you're okay on that. Okay, so this side has got a nice brown to it. Oh, that's gonna be a good one. This one will be one for my son probably. Nice big long thin breast here. Okay, so that is finishing up, and I am going to do the same exact thing, and then I'm gonna just get it in the oven and put it in there, like I said, for 30 to 35 minutes. We pull it out, cut down the middle of it so you can see if it's cooked right. Okay, so I have the lemon chicken all finished. I just cut up some sliced lemons and just use that for garnish. And then I've got my lemons that, you know, some of them squeeze over for a little extra lemon. But you can see it's not a very thick crust on there, but it's just really nice and crispy and just really, 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 really yummy. Now typically what I do is I serve it with mashed potatoes, but you could serve it with rice or anything like that, but I'll do a vegetable and then mashed potatoes, what my family always requests and loves. All right, guys, what's the consensus? Is this the one they should make?
Yeah. Yes, it's a very good meal that I love since I was a little kid. I find it very scrumptious. Also,
all right, babe. Are you eating? Are you eating? You like that dinner?
no.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope that you will tag me if you end up making it and that your family enjoys it as much as mine does. please remember to, if you're liking these videos, to hit subscribe and like. And I did want to update you on something. With YouTube, it is no longer just enough to subscribe. You kind of have to hit the notification bell and hit all. That way you will be notified of any videos that I post. It's a little bit of a change. So I hope you will tag me and or comment below if you tried it and you ended up loving it. I just hope you guys have a great day and that you have a great week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.